Good morning. It's day one. Let's call this D Day. The day that Susan has signed the papers to buy our new house. And so this is one of many, many shelves that I have here in the Star Wars room. There's more here behind me. But I thought I would take just a second to document what's on what I call the miscellaneous shelves. Most of what's in the room is Star Wars related things, but the black shelves are what I call the miscellaneous shelves. So I have set a chair right here in front. And I thought I would take a second to just document and go through what's on these shelves. Let's see. First shelf up there, definitely miscellaneous stuff. This is the top of the shelf. You can see there's a tree guy. I don't remember where that came from. There's a Kevin Durant bobblehead. There's a caveman. There's a Ewok from Return of the Jedi. There's an Ewok telephone. Some Star Wars stuff back there. A ceramic gorilla. A leprechaun from my childhood, a giant California raisin. I mean, these shelves are as miscellaneous as it gets. So, let's go ahead quickly before work this morning and document some of what's on these shelves. Now, first one is a miscellaneous shelf. There's Twinkie the Kid. That actually holds a Twinkie. If you wanted to put a Twinkie in your lunchbox as a kid, there's some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in there. Oh gosh, a bendy alien. This is going to take way too long. I'm not documenting every single thing, but just know that there are many shelves like that. This is another miscellaneous shelf. There's a Crypt Keeper, Men in Black. I see Monsters Inc., of course, Mr. Bill. That's Moses. Next shelf. These are, there's obviously Gizmo, and then those are reproduction. Laser Galaxy Squad by Timmy, and that is the black and gray set, and you'll see a few different sets. Here's my collection of homies. I've had these homies probably for 20 years now. Had homies for a long time. I got most of these, if not all these, from a vending machine at a local Mexican restaurant at 50 cents a pop. These are, there's another set of the same Galaxy Squad figures. This is the blue and green set, and also those are the large 6-inch. Those are also reproduction ones. Those are newer ones. There's another set. I really like that set, obviously. The red and orange, and then on the left, those are skeleton. Those came from, I believe, Dollar Tree. Last year around Halloween. It's an entire skeleton army. And then we have the Speed Racer / car shelf. Those are all, that's the Speed Racer DVD 10. There's a couple of Mach 5 cars, and then in the corner there's a R1 motorcycle model. That's a motorcycle I used to have. And the bottom of that shelf are handheld gaming systems. There's a Space Invaders. Some of those are vintage, like the Mattel baseball, football. Some of them are, and some of them are newer. There's a 2-man basketball one down there. That is the end of shelf number 1. That's 1 of 3. Starting on number 2, this is the Tron shelf. And all the light cycles, well, the red and yellow ones are old vintage. All the open figures are original vintage ones that I got for Christmas back in 82, I guess. There's a couple of newer light cycles, and those Tron, the carded ones in the back are the 20th anniversary ones, but the open figures there are the original ones. These are Timmy Galaxy Laser figures, but these are the original vintage ones from the 70s, so you can see those colors there, the green, the black and white, and the that weird pink color. Also, that tub of them on the left, those are either extras or also bootlegs. So you can see there's like blue ones and yellow ones. Those are Mexican bootlegs. where in Mexico they took originals and made forms and made bootleg copies. This is Star Wars. This kind of overflow. These are all Star Wars miniatures from different things, either play sets or small models or just things that I didn't have room for elsewhere. This is the Madball shelf. These are the Halloween horror Madballs from Best Buy that they sold last year. They sold all 6, and there they are. Followed by, these are a collection of, those are all breakfast cereal stuffed figures there. You can see Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Sunny from the Cocoa Puffs and Lucky from Lucky Charms, all the breakfast cereals there. This is, what is that in the back? I don't even know. There's some stuff in the back. There's a couple of extra Star Wars things, and then there's Smurfs. Those are not really vintage, I don't think, but I think I found those at a garage sale one time, and I always liked those little figures, so I just got those. This is the 1982 World's Fair shelf. I have more World's Fair stuff than this, but this is everything that fits on the shelf right now. Most, I would say 2/3 of that came from when we actually went to the fair, and then 1/3 are things that I picked up over the years. And then down at the bottom, there's some miscellaneous. There's South Park guys and Donkey Kong pixel art. I think there's a Q*bert, the perler bead stuff, so that's down there. Moving up to the 3rd shelf up here. This is a fun miscellaneous shelf. There's a Optimus Prime, an original vintage Optimus Prime back there in the back. Some Scooby-Doo figures, a Minion. The reason I have that particular Minion is because he has 2 different colored eyes, like me. There's a California Raisin. There's a Rumble, who's the mascot from our NBA team. So lots of fun stuff there. Here in the back, there are some Clerks action figures. You can see Chronic and Bluntman and Kevin Smith. There's a weird guy made out of a seashell that I got in the Florida Keys. H.R. Puffin Stuff is back there. And then there are some overflow rubber figures. You'll see some more of those. Those ones on the left, I built those little stands. Actually, I 3D printed those stands. And those figures came from a friend of mine, John, who mailed those to me when he saw some of the others that I have. This is the McDonald's collection of, aliens and monsters. There's 2 different collections there. They were all sold in Happy Meals back in the 70s. There's the space ones. Actually, if I show it like this, it kind of makes more sense. There's a lot of those there, and these are all vintage and all difficult. You can't just buy them in packs. So a lot of those were purchased just a few at a time on eBay or over years. So that's a little small collection that represents a lot of time and unfortunately a lot of eBay purchases. But there's the space collection down there on the bottom shelf, which is robots and spaceships, and then the top one is aliens and monsters. So pretty complete collection of those are Diener, Diener, little rubber guys. Next is this is 2 collections down here. One is the zombie collection and also the horrified B movie collection. So you can see all the people there are victims in B movies there, and they're running from the zombies. Down here we have some Dungeons and Dragons vintage figures. There's Charon, I believe, from Clash of the Titans. There's a bobblehead Slee stack. Down here are some more bobbleheads. That's me on the left. That's a bobblehead. And an Einstein bobblehead, a V for Vendetta, and a big giant rat that made me laugh one time, so I bought it. And, here's some more World's Fair items that I've collected. So that's pretty much it for the miscellaneous shelves. Next to the shelves, you can see a few carded Kevin Smith and Clerks action figures. And then I guess one more time, I will capture some of the things that are up here on top of the shelves. So not only to capture what's up here, but when I go to put the shelves back together, it'll help me remind what all I had. There's There's some chattering teeth. There's a scrubbing bubbles guy. There's a shrunken head. Some Muppet babies. There's a little OU football. Pac-Man arcade game. There's some. These are all records. There's Pac-Man Fever in Star Wars. There's a guy from Land of the Lost. This is not a Tron cycle. I thought it was. I bought it at a thrift store for like a quarter. I thought it was a Tron cycle. So it's near the other Tron cycles, but it's not with the Tron cycles. There's David Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China. And then some other miscellaneous figures and stuff. So I think the moral of this video is that I have a lot of packing to get started on.